Breaking news.
This just in.
I had to close some things.
Yeah.
Lock in.
I am locked in. I'm freaking dialed, dude. Having a day, like a good day. We're moving mountains at 7th element right now. And
it's been 2 weeks and you went from 4th to 7th element.
Yeah.
I like it.
At the end of this year, it'll be like 45th element. But yeah, I'm locked in. I'm on my third cup of the Joe today.
Yeah.
Where's the sugar and cream?
Yeah, we don't have that here.
Rough.
I probably shouldn't be having any more today, but as soon as you said it, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's the one of the Black Rifle ones, like Death something. So it's super dark.
So it's gonna get us jacked.
Yes, and I've already had a few. I feel like I'm thinking faster than I'm able to talk.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that is black.
It's good. I put water in it too. Like I filled it up halfway and added water to it.
Sometimes those coffees are so strong I get a headache. I don't know if that even makes sense, but
It
like
does.
when we first started the podcast, we were ripping a lot of coffee whiskeys, and we would usually start with like a coffee or two, then or whiskey, and I would get a headache from the coffees. But
I think you're used to caffeine now, and you were not then.
yes, I am. I've been consuming a lot now.
Just a slow, steady drip.
Yeah,
Caffeine's weird. It could take a headache away or give you a headache.
I know.
It's be in the pocket.
I know, dude. But I'm dialed. I'm freaking Tom Brady in the pocket right now. I'm dialed. I'm locked in.
Let's go.
Let's get into it.
All right. Hi. I have. This is relevant as of last week.
Yeah, I think
Topic.
this is a good topic for any entrepreneur or any leader.
Yeah. Expectation versus outcome versus acceptance. Core idea. Keeping a calm, grounded mindset. Wait, is this my one feature? Yeah, it is. Okay. Keeping a calm, grounded mindset when things don't go as planned. You can do everything right and still get a different outcome. Expect nothing and accept everything. I've said that many times before, and I'll say it again. This applies to both personal life and business. Key framework. Expectation shapes mindset. Outcome is often unpredictable. Acceptance is where peace, adaptability, and progress live. And we could do personal examples, right? So I wrote one here with like working out, because this is something our bloodline struggles with. So you plan a workout routine, meal plan, you calculate calories, deficit, you do the math, right? You could go, if I eat like this and I do those things, I should be in this deficit. And 7,000 calories is 1 pound. You can kind of do the math and figure out, if I continue on this course, I will lose this much weight, and you can kind of see the path. Mm-hmm. And if you expect that to happen like that, and then a birthday party comes up, or you get sick, or if you have kids and you had to do something for your kid and you can't do the workout, or you forgot the meal, or you didn't go to the grocery store, there's all these little speed bumps that can derail it and screw up that trajectory. You can do the math and go, I'm going to lose 40 pounds in X amount of weeks or months or whatever it is. Probably not going to happen. So let me see here. Life interrupts, work runs late, poor sleep, sickness, missed meals. These variables were never in the plan. Giving yourself grace versus throwing the plan away. This is a shift I've made.
Yeah.
And we'll go into some business examples too, but personal is good because anyone can relate to this. And I think we've talked about and, not or, being one of the changes that I made. We all have this all or nothing mindset, or at least I do, which has always been a problem. And in health and fitness, that's been really bad for me. So the example would be, no, I'm not having an off meal. No, I'm not having a drink. No, I'm not going to your dumb party. No, I'm not going out to eat because I'm perfect. And you can maintain that for a while, but then you start to maybe resent some people and start feeling a certain way, and you're choking yourself off from life and fun. And or something comes up. You forgot to go to the grocery store. Your food's rotten. You got sick. You hurt your leg. You missed a workout. Previous to probably this year, if I missed a workout, I felt like a failure, a loser.
Yeah.
If I that's such a fat thing to say. If I accidentally ate too much in the middle of the night, I would be all gluttonous and go, well, you screwed it up. What's the point? You might as well order a pizza and eat the whole thing and then eat ice cream. And it just compounds and compiles. Go ahead and jump in when you want.
Yeah. I was just going to say, like, the and an or is a great point. And I think you've noticed, I've been practicing that with you specifically.
Yes.
But just because we talk so much, but I've been practicing that with a lot of things in my own life where it's like, it's a cheesy example, but it's like, should we get Italian food or go work out? And it's like, why don't we get a workout in and go get Italian food? And I think there's always a better way of doing things. We don't have to to make such harsh decisions in scenarios like that. But
those little miniature reinforcements actually kind of like played a big role in in me making the switch, because I am hardwired.
Yeah.
When I say, we've said it before, but when I text, I'm half kidding, like, "Hey, should we go to Old Town?"
Yeah, but you're like 48%.
Yeah, I'm
waiting.
I'm also pretty serious because if I just need one other person to be like, "Yeah, let's go get pizza and drink."
I know.
Sure.
That's the problem. It's like, because you know what you're doing too, and you're almost passively like, you're just asking someone, and it's like,
I'm hoping you peer pressure me.
And you know that certain people will always be like, of course, let's go to Yard House and get nachos. So you don't ask them unless you're like desperate, but you always ask the people that you're like,
you think that are a little weak.
Yeah. And when I'm on the receiving end, I'm like, oh, this is my duty to step up here, because I want to just reply and be like, let's go right now. And I've been challenging myself to be like, why not both? And I don't know, that comes back to the beginning of the year or the end of last year. I just had a lot of conversations with myself, and then a lot with like Morgan, and a lot of the central idea was around just like kind of reframing how I thought about things. And I've never really given myself grace. And that's a broad term. You can apply grace so much. Like, you can't be like, I'm gonna give myself grace and eat bean and cheese.
Yeah, you could
night.
take that too far.
Yeah,
too.
but giving myself grace and like, I don't know, man. That's such a broad topic, but just
it's true though. When applied correctly. Yeah. What's funny is whenever I make those jokes, like, hey, should I work out or should we go to Old Town or whatever? Mm-hmm. I'm not including the and part in there. Like, legitimately, my brain isn't saying,
yes,
you can do a little bit of both. So you can, like, I'm literally thinking you are going to continue eating perfectly and go crush a workout, or just blow it all. But the reality is, you could crush the workout and then after go get one thing, one drink or whatever.
You're more likely to do the workout and then go out to eat and be like, yeah, we'll just get one, because that's like when you work out in the morning, you have a better day.
100%. Or do the workout and you may go, well, I'm not even going to go. What's the point?
Exactly. Or you do go and then you just don't feel bad.
Yeah.
It's all in your mind. Man, but this, I think there's a lot of personal examples, but this plays into
business big time.
Business so much. And this is a 24/7 topic for me, because we've been in such like rapid growth mode that the expectation part of this, so expectations versus outcome versus acceptance. My expectations, not only for myself, but for my staff, even my clients sometimes, just have changed so rapidly, basically week over week, month over month. And I just had a conversation with someone on our team this week about like, we're going through a lot of growth right now, and I can see that it's bothering the team.
Yeah.
Like, because the only person that's going to be excited about this uncomfort is like a stakeholder, which is like only me.
Yep.
And for everyone else, it could be exciting too, but it's not their duty to carry that into like when they go to sleep and stuff,
and it doesn't equal more reward. So it's a different,
it
different
just
state of mind.
Does in different, whatever. We're on a different frequency, and this January has been, we're coming off a really hard like Q4 last year, Central Corporate, but just challenging. And it wasn't challenging because we were like rapidly growing. We were just like kind of stuck in the mud. it was a weird time. Now we're having the most challenging month ever because we're growing very quickly, and a lot of things are changing for the better, but it's making people kind of uncomfortable, which is okay. And we talked about like the talk I had with the team. Anyway, where I'm getting at with this is my expectations are shifting rapidly, and half of me is here's how I'm approaching this whole outcome acceptance expectation thing. Half of me is putting very hard expectations on everyone and purposely pushing them very hard and being more direct. I'm still a kind guy, but being very direct and kind of hard on them. And the other half of me is like, well, I'm caring about them, but I'm doing this on purpose because I know that if I push you X amount, you'll land somewhere right below it or right above it, but usually right below it. So it's like, if I need you to get to here, well, it's like, well, I got to push you like way up here, you know?
Yeah.
That's how I kind of feel when it comes to pushing the team. But time and time again, I realize that your like the ratio for what you're expecting and what the outcome is never going to be 1-to-1.
No.
Rarely is it going to be 1 to like 2 and you get something crazy out of it. It's always going to be like 1 to 0.8, 1 to 0.2, and it's going to be all over. And I think it's your job as the leader and entrepreneur to understand that you have to find different ways to create those expectations and then give them the tools and channels and resources they need to like execute on it to get to the outcome. Because if their outcome is constantly like 20%, 30%, it's like, well, there's an issue here. That being said, if their outcome is like 70%, 80%, 90%, and you're constantly upset, that's where our conversation comes into, well, you need to understand that like the outcome's always going to be not exactly what you're expecting and be,
well,
does that make sense?
It does. So, well, one, there's a bunch of variables in life that you just can't anticipate. Two, I think it's a driven person's human nature to judge what you think your outcome should be based on your best day. Like, if you, like, we are remembering, I did something like this and it worked out excellent. So if we just keep doing this, we can keep compounding.
I was just about to say that
but
like,
you're not counting
like
all the failures or the just the variables that come with life for everybody.
Yeah.
And
I was just about to say that like if on a chart you had like all of your outcomes as your business or leader, it's like it's crazy all over. Whichever one is the highest one, the second that hits, it's like, oh, cool, my bar is
we're just going to
raised.
keep doing that.
Yeah, and that's what can do two things. It could push your team positively, and then they could have all their own emotions, making them frustrated, scared, nervous, all that. But you have to just like give grace in the outcome, and that's the acceptance part. It's like,
aim for like. You can use that one day that in your analogy, you can use that one day as the benchmark and say, hey, we all came together on this day and these are the results we had. Let's try to duplicate that all the time. Here's how we did that. Let's keep doing that. And then if and when it falls short, it's your job to, one, accept it, two, find out if it fell short because somebody was slacking versus, outside variables we didn't factor in that didn't happen the day that it went well. And then just give grace and then give them reinforcement. Hey, we did do good. Then you could start averaging out what you could expect better or make adjustments or whatever.
Yeah.
But as the leader or just as someone taking care of your own mindset, aim for that perfection, aim for the stars.
Yes.
But you have to accept whatever it is because whatever it is either closer to reality if everybody did their job properly or something happened, and then you could identify that and go, well, let's not let that happen again.
Something my coach says that he told me this at the beginning of the year, our first session of the year, and this has been one of my like top 5 things I've been championing is be committed and he worded it a little bit different, but it's like be committed and stubborn with the outcome or your target, your goal, but be flexible in your approach. So it's like be committed in your target, be flexible in your approach. And everything's gonna, you just have to be ready for constant change. This other thing I've been telling some of our employees recently is like, it's an interesting analogy, but the first time I rode a dirt bike in Glamis, I realized real fast that like you can't hold on to that thing real tight. Like when you ride a quad, you can really hold the handlebars, and if you hold on to a bike too tight, you're gonna get bucked off immediately. I mean, I'm a novice, like brand new rider to it, and
your
like,
hands and forearms get fatigued.
Dude,
your throttle in.
And it's like you can't hold on to this. You're gonna freaking whiskey throttle. Not to mention, going through the sand, the whole rear end of the bike is like
Loose
skipping
and
and loose all over. And it wasn't until Christopher was like, "Don't hold on that tight," and he was like, "You just like kind of float,
just relax,
just float on it and relax." Then I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. We're getting places. I can actually make it without, yeah. And you're like, I'm not hyperextending my knee every 5 minutes. Like you're just kind of floating on top and you're taking control, but it's like, this thing's already in motion and we just need to keep it like on track, small degree changes. And it's like, when you grab onto it too much, grabbing onto it too much looks like a lot of different things, but it's like,
that's a good analogy because you straight up get tired.
You straight up get tired, fatigued. And one of the things that happens too is like, you get too close in this, and I got someone on our team that's
might wipe out.
Literally. You're going to wipe out, or like you're just going to get your head wrapped up in all this stuff and forget that like there's more to life than part of me doesn't want to say it because like this, I love doing this, but it's like there's more life than like stressing about your Asana and your inbox. It's like,
for sure.
It's like
sometimes you got to stop at the top of the dune and just recap where you've been and where you're going.
For real.
Sometimes you got to get back to the campfire. And
what's the part in Iron Man 2? He's like, Tony, don't get too attached to things. That guy wants his bird.
Yeah.
Want my bird.
Beard. My beard.
Anyway.
Yeah.
These are cornball things, but I'm being dead serious that you can't hold on too much. And I've been in this thing with our team right now that I have very high expectations. And something that's helping me. Well, I don't want to get too far away from the goal. We're assuming there's entrepreneurs and leaders listening to this that are looking for input on how
this
we
is
handle
important,
this, right?
Yeah, this is
any
important.
kind of leader position, father, mother, leader, anything. What I do is, so let's be clear here. We don't give grace in like, we learn from failures, but we're not giving grace in just like constantly not getting what we want. So I don't know how to word that better. Do you know what I mean? But like we have our
grace where it's due.
We're giving grace in certain categories. Yeah. Where it's like
the distinction
obvious.
Would be what do you deem the failure? What fell short? Because if you're falling short of your expectation, if your expectation was unrealistic, that's where grace is due.
And grace is like, it's different. It's like, dude, I worked 12 hours straight. I literally couldn't. I did my absolute best. I just couldn't have done any better. It's like, all right, well, give yourself a little grace. You're beating yourself up.
Do your best. Forget the rest.
Yeah, but we're not giving grace for things that are like lazy, blatant negligence, things like that. No.
Yeah.
So let's be clear on that. Like, we're very driven and committed to what we're looking to do. The grace is to fill those little like pockets where it's like you really couldn't have done much better. And it's like the thing that you forget as the entrepreneur too is you'll get like 5 days into a bender where you're wrapped up in this big project for a whole week, and then you're beating yourself up, and it's like then you stop and look back and realize like, oh, I've only slept 4 hours every night Monday through Friday. That's probably why this is like beating me up. And it's like, okay, well, give yourself a little grace. That doesn't mean go get I don't know. I don't know if I'm wording this right, but
no, you are. I think there's like a million ways to say this, and we can keep using analogies because they do work. But
if your marshmallow gets on fire, blow it out.
Do your best, forget the rest. That was Tony Horton for P90X.
Yeah.
That's a big deal though, because
yeah,
if you are doing your best and you fall short of your expectation, that's where grace is due to yourself. And the same thing for your team, right?
And I think there's a process there where it's like you give the grace and you get back on the horse.
You get back on the horse, like and you also figure out, you also need to determine if you got upset about something because you fell short of your expectation. Was your expectation realistic or not, and why? Because that will set the new expectation. So you should always aim a little bit higher.
Yes.
But if you're falling short constantly, you have to ask yourself, is it because you think you can do more than you can, or do you think you know more than you do know?
Yeah.
And then are you paying attention to why you're falling short? If you're falling short because you're only working 6-hour days, no grace. If you're falling short because you thought you could get X amount of work done in an 8-hour day, but really that takes 30 hours.
And I think if we had to reword this, when we're saying give grace, I think what we actually mean most of the time is
don't beat yourself up.
Be resilient. And it's like we just said give grace and then immediately try again. So it's like if you're trying on this thing, it's like the way you and I work at least is like giving grace doesn't mean taking a week off and letting our hair down. It means
okay, yeah.
Clarify that. It means Non-stop, stubborn, trying this over and over and over. But what the grace means is like building your mind to have resilience, to know that when it didn't work the first time, that is no chip on your shoulder. It is no, of course you could be like a little frustrated, but it's like, all right, going at it again. And you can't come back in with the sour attitude. That's what I think.
You can't allow your mindset to become poisoned and negative and pessimistic.
Yeah. So, I think it's really grace for us is more resilience and acceptance. It's like accepting that didn't work.
You're right. We have to continue clarifying. Along with that means you must learn why. What was the lesson?
Yeah.
Did you fall short of your expectation because you aimed too high to where it's impossible to reach? Now you can pull new data and figure out that's impossible with this amount of people, or that's impossible with these tools. Therefore, more people, better tools, or we did too many redundant things. Let's tighten up that process.
Yeah.
And to your point, you continue going. Grace isn't like take a vacation.
No, yeah.
It's
great.
Don't beat yourself up. Don't get stressed. If you can figure out why you fell short and there's a just cause for it, you go, no big deal. Let's redo this and start over. Keep going.
You're staying on the bike. You're just not holding on too tight. That's literally it.
You may have stopped at the bottom of the bowl this time.
Yeah. And it's the...
Listen, Jack, you might need to get some new grips, but you can get back on.
You're like building your mind's endurance to continue to go. And there's such thing as, like, you can almost have unlimited endurance, and it's just having the right frame. Like, people say some people believe in burnout, other people don't. I don't know. I feel like we both worked.
I think burnout comes from being repetitive without learning any lessons or picking up new skills along the way, and you have an expectation for an outcome.
It's like
you continue falling short.
Yeah,
because you're not doing anything about figuring out why.
It's the definition of insanity. I think that's where burnout comes from. Because like we've been relentless for years, and I've been relentless. I've been doing this for over 5 years now. I've been relentless for at least 3.5 of them, 4, but like a good 3.5 of just everything I got. And I'm not burnt out. I obviously have days or like weeks here and there where I'm like, but if I had to chalk it up to being burnt out, I'm not burnt out. I'm not even close. Like I just love coming back. To me,
there's two levels of burnt out.
Like micro and macro burnout.
Well, there's burnout like, I don't know if I want to do this job anymore. I don't, that's a burnout. Yeah. And then there's just, I need to sleep in.
Well, usually when people are saying burnout, they're talking about like career choice.
Right.
And I'm saying that. But yeah, no, definitely have like the day burnouts where I'm like, I'm going to close the laptop. Got to go hit some Tega and teenies. But
you got to recharge.
Yeah. But no.
Damn, I had a point I was going to make. I lost it.
Well, this might inspire you too. So part of my practice, I think this whole expectation, outcome, acceptance thing is what helps people is building systems in your brain. It's like just like how you build systems in your business, you have to systemize how you go about thinking about these things. And if you don't have a system for setting expectations with a goal outcome and then being prepared to accept that outcome regardless of what it is, your emotions inside your business are going to be a roller coaster. And the number one thing that dictates any business's success is the leader's psychology. So you guys could be doing great things, but if you're constantly 10% above or below of your expected outcome and it's affecting your emotions, you're going to affect your entire team.
Yeah, you're going to poison the well.
Yeah. So you need to build a system there. And one of the things I do for my system is most expectations come with a time. Like most goals are time driven. We want to hit this by this time. And I think for larger things like quarterly or yearly goals, that's absolutely appropriate. The thing that the expectations that often are not close to my outcome that I have to constantly swallow and accept are when I'm trying to get things done within, we're talking hours or days. Those are the ones that get to me.
Yes.
Because like the quarterly goals we set, if we miss it, man, we messed up, because I break it down so like it's just a percent out of grasp. It's totally doable. And what I've been doing in January, just literally just this month, is just having the grace and resilience to know that it's just going to take time, because we're trying to move mountains.
See, so
and I keep coming in knowing when I say this is going to take time, I'm not saying I'm going to take a month to do this.
Right. But you're adjusting your expectation based on the lessons you learned.
And I'm just doing it live, and I'm
Grace.
coming in setting goals for like I'll be honest, there's a lot of stuff I committed to staying up till like 2 a.m. tonight and doing. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to go home and eat dinner, and then I'm going to start doing it and realize that like I can't get to 30% of the stuff I wanted to do, and I'm not going to kill myself over it, but I'm just going to be like, that's just going to take time, and I will pick it right back up in the morning, because me being like present and in the moment and doing it 100% is, in it taking a little bit longer and being quality is better than me getting it done in the same amount of time but beating myself up. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yes.
It's the whole thing of like, don't pre-stress something. It's like now you're stressing about it twice. It's like, just do what you could do. I don't know, but I think we have an interesting way of approaching things. I think this year you and I are being very
intentional.
I think we're being a lot more thoughtful and like above ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
And not being so, just being where your feet are and all that. And like at the same time, we definitely have a few of those like Elon Musk level, like, just kidding. We have those very committed outcomes that we're still like certain people will deem unrealistic, you know, but that's the superpowers. Like,
one of the things I started factoring in is expecting, like adding into the expectation, the unknown, because one of the keys here is there's outside variables that you don't know are going to happen. You don't know about, like, an example would be, you could take your business right now and say, I've developed this team. We're all capable of this, and we're preparing to take on this many clients. And we know if each one of these little departments does X, we will get Y. And there's this pool of people to bring in as clients. Mm-hmm. But what if one of those brands fails? What if one of your people quit? What if the stock market tanks and there's no people aren't buying franchises anymore or whatever? There's all these outside variables that most of the stress comes from your expectation for hitting numbers and deadlines based on what you're assuming is coming your way or is at your fingertips or available to you right now. But all that stuff, you can only control inside of your company. If you're doing well, you can only control what you guys are doing. And you have all these assumptions about what you'll be able to get based on what you know about what's out there. Yep. I know that's just a bunch of words jumbled together, but there's just all these outside variables. Like you could get sick. You could have another kid at any moment. There's just all these random little things.
You got to build slack into your plan. It's like going on a road trip.
Being able to pivot and like accept those things.
It's just putting a little bit of wiggle room in your, like, I don't know. If you're going to go on a road trip that's going to take 12 hours, it's like, well, you're kind of an idiot to expect to take 12 hours on the dot. It's like, why don't you build it? You always build in an extra hour or two for like
bathroom breaks,
bathrooms.
a little
Maybe
bit of
get out
traffic
for the kids, traffic, all that stuff.
Maybe you get T-boned in an intersection.
Yeah, you never know. And it's like, hey, you were holding on too soon or too close. Anyway, all right, what I'm about to say is going to sound extremely challenging to, because I don't even know how to put these words in. Stick with me here.
I'm in.
Okay, ready?
I'm locked in.
One of the things to do with Fifth Element.
Holding on tight right now.
Probably wouldn't hold on tight to this one. That's like Lenny and the Rabbits. One of the things to do at Fifth Element is build automations, which are like, you're connecting a bunch of different apps and platforms through workflows. Yeah. But that's so general, but it's a thing.
I know what you mean.
It's all the API integrations, all that stuff. When you build this, when you build these things, every single workflow you build, like, is a legitimate chart where it's like, there's a thing called a trigger and then a series of events. And you build in a ton of like minute, very specific details into each event.
If this happens, do this.
If this happens, this happens. If it doesn't happen, and there's like branches and all this stuff.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, you've seen some of the stuff we do. And that is
daunting.
Such a massive part of our business. It not only do we use it to automate all of our onboarding and stuff, but it's like for simple things like when a lead comes in from a Facebook ad, well, it's got to go through like 4 other platforms and go into the client CRM, and then got to get their information so they could set them up for their first class at Pilates and build whatever. All this information. They don't fail on their own. If it didn't work, it's because you didn't put in the right inputs or information. So
there was a kink in the blockchain.
Yeah, somewhere there's a. So it's like when it messes up and someone on the team's like, I don't know, it just happened. And I'm like, dude. Also, when it messes up, it gives you a report and tells you exactly where it failed. So like, there's no such thing. They're very complex, but you can find it. But what I'm getting at is, I had to learn how to do this, and when you run an agency, everyone's like, oh, you're really good at running ads. It's like, you are. That's half of it. But the other half that no one sees, because you don't talk about it, because you're not selling that you do automations. It's just a thing you have to do, is this. And this takes a lot of our time. Anyway, I had to like get my brain into automation mode. Mm-hmm. And I've spent so much time doing it. It's such a large part of my job that I never talk about, that it like
talk about it.
Got my brain to think of like everything,
every minute little detail
as a like workflow, as
and
if it was
variables.
On a computer. Yeah, so like, okay, I'm gonna sound like
I see what you're doing here.
I'm gonna sound like you're gonna clip this, and I'm gonna go famous on Instagram as a freaking tard here. But like, if we go to, I don't know, if we're at like a restaurant or something, and it's like, you watch the cook put the food on the counter, and then the waitress brings it to you. Mm-hmm. And then she's prompted to then ring you out, give the receipt, all stuff. It's like, in my head, I could almost see that as like a perfect workflow with all the arrows and if, then all this stuff. So it's like, now when I start building expectations in my personal life, I feel like I'm in the Matrix, because I can like see these things in a like how I see it on the computer when I'm doing this stuff.
I get what you're
all
saying.
The way down to like, when it's time to put the baby to sleep, it's like,
I can see this all mapped out.
Yeah, no, I'm serious.
So you're so detailed that in the restaurant analogy, there's all these automations that get you to the table with all the little variables of how it gets there. And then when it does get there, you have like a whole new automation where you're like, how do I ask for extra ranch without looking like a cow?
And there's a full workflow for getting 1.8 chicken, but only paying for 1 at Chipotle too. Dude. So I've never even talked about this, but yeah, there's this weird like.
My wife wanted extra Thousand Island,
dude. Yeah, when we were in Big Bear, we went to this place and we got burgers at a bar, and Lauren was on the other side of the bar, and he ordered Thousand Island, and I was like, that sounds nice, and I forgot to order it. Then they brought out Thousand Island for Lauren, but didn't know who it was for, mm-hmm. and the guy was standing by me. And he's like, Thousand Island? And I was like, in my head, workflow immediately triggered, where I was like, I'll take it and order another one and tell him that one's for Lauren. So I was like, right here? And I was like, hey, boss, can I get another one for down there? and then all dinner, Lauren was like, he didn't even touch his burger. Everyone ate, and he was waiting for the 1,000. He's like, God, can I get some 1,000 around here? And I was like, dude, I've asked 3 times for you. I don't know where it's at.
Is our volume cranked up more this time?
I might have touched yours a little bit. You want me to turn yours down?
Yeah.
There we go. I think we're also getting better at being conscious of the mic. Anyway, back to what I was saying. People think I'm an idiot right now. When I think of things I'm trying to do in my life that are things you could systemize, like fitness, like getting up at a certain time, doing this, I'm like thinking of them in workflows, and I'm like, somewhere it's breaking down. And like when you're trying to get certain outcomes in your personal life, everybody knows that like the most successful way to achieve things is like by building habits, routines, and if you say it a different way, it's just building systems in your life. So if you can systemize how you handle, how you accept outcomes from your expectations with your team, your family, your friends, like you're going to do a lot better.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about last episode, your emotions significantly change how you view the world. And it's like, I don't know, you got to assume responsibility for everything that's happening to you. And when you're trying something over and over again, you're getting the outcome that wasn't desired. You need to immediately understand that like nothing's wrong with your emotions, but like you're approaching it wrong. And there's a better way. I don't know. There's a better system to process how you're going about this. You know?
If I'm connecting the dots of what you're trying to say, I think, or this is at least how I'm receiving it, because you have started building these automations and you can quite literally see the map.
Like
It kind of opened your mind to be able to accept more because you're literally seeing how many variables are involved in different outcomes and different things.
Yeah.
And the way you're looking at it when you're building these automations is, at first it's, if this happens, I need it to do this and then do this. And then you're realizing, well, this could happen. The response could be this. Oh, there's a branch. There's a branch. There's a branch. So you're able to see it all and realize that there are a lot of variables that you're not thinking of, but it's okay. You can absorb the information with a better attitude and keep building.
Yeah. And it's like every time
ding,
you are finding a new path, it's like, oh, okay, add it to the inventory.
Yep.
Add it to the workflow. Now I know for next time. And it's like
that's the key right there.
Mental logging.
If you're not doing that, now I know for next time.
Exactly.
This is where you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
That's where the grace is.
And if it
now I know for next time, include it next time.
Exactly. That's where the resilience comes from, where you go. That's why people say fail faster, because it's like every time you do it, you're going to learn. And maybe the thing you learn is that you have to fail 4 times or 3 times before you get the lesson.
Yeah, and I think
that
you can
be part of
reframe
learning
that
too,
because I don't even think that qualifies as grace. It's almost like reframe the way you look at that. When that first automation in this analogy didn't work because something happened and you go, oh, I'm going to use that for next time. You should be excited.
Yeah.
You just added to your toolbox for this whole situation.
You're that much more prepped.
Yeah.
It's like,
so I don't even know that part requires grace, because once you catch a rhythm of expectation, failure, flaw, noted, fixing it, moving on. Mm-hmm. If it happens again, I would say that's a failure. If you didn't absorb the information and apply it next time, and that same result happened again because you weren't paying attention or you didn't apply something new, now there's a failure. And I don't even, that's where I guess grace would apply even more. But you have to absorb the
grace is just understanding that.
Right, it's going to happen. You're going to continue building,
and just shifting from like pessimist. It didn't go the way I wanted it to. Learn something new. And man, how many of these things could I learn till this works? And just knowing that, like, you just, I don't know,
optimistic and resilience, I guess. Yes.
Yeah.
It's fun circling the same bush and just calling it different things until it clicks.
Yeah, that's what's happening. If we had, what's his name? Peterson. What's his first name?
Jordan
Peterson in here. He would have just read our minds and said he would have said all 38 minutes of what we talked about in one sentence.
And he would have done hand signals that made it click more.
And he would have sat back in like a really nice suit.
Don't you wish you could articulate better? I feel like a lot of times when I'm talking or thinking, I can think about something excellent and I try to put it into words.
Yeah.
If I spend a lot of time and write it and read it and rewrite it,
it's a very good skill to have.
That works. But in real time, trying to articulate your thoughts, it's very difficult.
Yeah, and it's like it's almost like you're thinking in like shapes and colors and concepts, and then you're like, how do I zip all that into a zip folder of English
and sequence
words?
it so it makes sense when it's leaving your mouth?
Yeah. That's I
have trouble with that.
A good teacher is such a great skill, and imagine how much faster you could. I think 99% of people don't even have close to it, because if you think about it, the world's greatest entrepreneurs are like definitely have an element of that, because especially for a service-based business, your number one challenge is people, because it takes people to scale, whereas like software, you could just blow it out with 2 guys. And it's like you have to be a master teacher at teaching, because then you could just find someone with good morals off the street and they would know exactly what to do because you're that good at teaching it.
Which also requires patience.
Yes.
This is not something I possess. Yeah.
There's an interesting thing going on in my head where I'm like, unrealistic, I don't know, unrealistic, not expectations, but like, I wouldn't even say the word goals, just like thoughts, like, but like, infinite amounts of drive to get there, if that makes sense. At the same time, knowing that if I'm the one doing it, I'm okay with giving myself an unrealistic expectation. But the second my team gets involved and there's other people involved that I know are not extreme stakeholders and have to clock out after 8 hours, it's like, well, that's where the kind of grace comes in for knowing that, like, well, it might take them a little bit longer, and like you got to let them do it because they got to learn too. And
that's a good point. This is another variable in general. Like, for one, to come up with a new idea or a new thing or a new plan or a new business, it takes so much effort and thought. And once it's, discovered and decided, you can then teach it and share it. But then there's the way that you learn and the way you accept information. And because you figured it out for you, you're assuming, why can't you do it?
I know.
And then you have to realize other people are going to absorb things differently, take a different amount of time to learn, want to hear it a certain way, see it a certain way. That's where patience comes in too.
It's fascinating watching. We have eight people in our office, like in a bullpen, all communicating to each other, like physically in the exact same space and time, but like on just different wavelengths and frequencies. And it's like it's crazy watching how like one person will say something and all other people take it a different way and like interpret the instructions a different way. And it's like, that's what being a great entrepreneur and leader, it's like you're learning how to conduct a master frequency that everybody understands.
Well, yeah, and you have to speak the language of each person too.
Yeah, it exists, but it's like
I think it's two things. I think it's what you said, figuring out a language that everybody can understand that's there.
And a pace and like all
but then
stuff.
Also separately, individually to certain people, because usually you're giving different information to different people. So there's like a whole mission, a vision and a mission that the whole company and the whole team is aware of and taught at the same time. But then there's each department or person who does something specifically or specific and different. You're having sidebar conversations with them, and it's on their level in their words. Yep. And you subconsciously are picking up, how do I talk to so-and-so a certain way? How will they get it? Or well, your kid's not old enough just yet, but when you start teaching her stuff, you'll realize you explain the same thing in all these variable different ways until they get it. And you're like, oh, she likes to hear it like this. This one needs, you have to teach this one visually, or you have to teach this one on paper, words, whatever. And I think that's the same for business and your team. I mean, I do that here the people that work here, wildly different in how they interpret things. Some people take things emotionally and personally, no matter how nice they are. Other people are just like, hurry up and give me the info. I got it. Let's go.
Yep.
And you have to know that too. Those are.
Yeah. It's just like the human experience. That's why it's so cool when people achieve these massive, great things. 'Cause you're like, man, I'm a small business and I know how difficult it is just for me. So.
Yeah, and there's so much more to it than anyone would think there is. Like,
no, yeah.
Usually it's numbers. I need this much money. I have a great idea. I build the team. I have the things. It's like, that's just what, 10% of it?
Yeah. Yeah. People that
timing and people and variables
I think
and life.
Entrepreneurship is the ultimate vehicle for self-development. The ultimate vehicle for self-development. Because there's just so much like self-discovery, and it's interesting. It's crazy.
It's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
It's so unpredictable.
You just, I don't know.
We hit a wall just now. my mind is cooking right now.
I'm just thinking of all the clips on Instagram that are going to be of you and me with that one guy being like, over time. Life's a vacuum and we're getting sucked. I don't know.
I know. I often think about, there's certain, I don't know if you want to call them coaches or personalities or what, but there's all these various people on Instagram and YouTube that are, I guess, selling coaching or just giving tips. And what was that?
My computer.
Oh. Money advice, business advice, and for whatever reason, some of them you're like, idiot. You're dumb.
I know.
I don't like that. And others, you're like, wow, this is resonating. And
They're all
clicking.
saying the same stuff.
They're all saying the same stuff, and they're just at different stages. And I'm willing to accept something from this guy, but not this guy, and it's based on where they're at and where they've been. And I don't know where we would fall in that.
I know.
I don't know. We're also idiots.
I know. There's people online that are like, screw these guys.
Yeah.
Someone commented on one of our old thing about like, well, professors of ranch giving out vaccine recommendations or something. It's
Did
like,
they? My favorite one was the what are these guys even famous for?
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't even. We're not.
Yeah.
We're not famous.
Cups of ranch.
But ranch, yeah.
Yeah, probably just ranch and like Bet David.
I don't know if it's helpful to anybody. I don't know if we make sense to anybody. I do know that you can hear the same exact advice from the same person at different stages in your journey, and at some point it clicks and you accept it and you could hear it.
It's like reading the book.
Yeah.
The book different times, getting new things each
So
time.
whatever we're saying, it may work for some people, it may help some people. I don't know, but
Eating the same thing, getting a different taste.
something that would be equivalent, or an analogy, I guess, would be
Watching the same movie, seeing different scenes. That one's real.
that is real. Hearing, when a parent gives advice to a kid, something stupid like "you'll see when you're older," "wait till you have kids," or any of these things that most parents say to their kids, I am now still like revisiting things dad said to me or just in general throughout life, and it continues to mean something different, and it's like almost unlocking the meaning behind what he said 10 years ago or 15 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you're more experienced and you go, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I get why he said that. Now it makes sense.
Yeah. Like 6 months after we had baby, I was just going through it.
You're like,
you knew.
I get why he bought those Costco socks.
Yeah. I was going through it hard, like real hard. And one of the mornings I was about to leave and I turned my truck and I was just going through the slums of things, dude, like right through the mud. Felt like I was going through turmoil, like war in my brain. And I'm like, dude, I work on a computer. But it was just one of those days. And I got in the truck and backed out and looked at the house and Gypsy was in the window. And I was like, do I eat a shotgun right now or we go to work? and then it clicked.
And you thought, should I put it back in drive and floor it?
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. And then I was thinking and I was like, oh, that's how dad felt, huh? And then I was like, what's crazy is this is 1/20th of how dad felt.
Yeah.
This is one kid that's only a few months in and a business that's only 5 years in.
Goddamn mortgage won't quit.
Yeah. And I was seeing him at 40 years into his mortgage. I'm just kidding. But I'm watching him 40 years into the business, 5 kids, grandkids, all kinds of stuff. And then I'm like, man, it makes so much sense when he pulls in the driveway and goes,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I'm a fraction of that. And it just starts. I'm like, I get it. I don't get it fully, but I get a little bit of it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But it's it's like time released info.
That being said,
it's crazy.
What we're saying will resonate with somebody somewhere.
Yeah.
Or someone's going to say, you guys got to up your vocabulary. We don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I know. Also, though, there's definitely somewhere out there, someone's being like, dude, your freaking references are dope. Which I do feel like our references are pretty sick at times.
I will say,
I think we're
break the fourth wall here. I still have a little bit of a struggle in this because I'm getting more used to, it's being recorded.
Yeah.
We talk a little bit differently when it's not. I'm trying to get out of that because I can think a little more clearly.
Yeah. It's right now, Cam.
Taking my shirt off. No, that's real though. Subconsciously, I don't want to say something stupid or slip up or whatever. So
I know.
I think you self-censor a little bit, and not even it's not like I'm going to say anything out of pocket or incorrect, but wanting to come off a certain way.
I know.
And I'm trying not to do that. Just talk.
I know. Then it's kind of cringy, like those girls in like old like 2000s movies that are just like undeniably being myself. And it's like you don't want to.
No, I'm being myself, but I'm just aware that it'll be permanent.
Yeah. Isn't it weird that like did the 2000 beginning of the 2000s also kind of feel like how the inside of a Panera or a Barnes & Noble was designed for you?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, because
it was like
stores
all about
and trends and
it was all about like
kind of shape.
It was like scrapbooks and like onion soup. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Onion soup. No, it does.
Like
every decade has its vibe.
It's got this like taste. Like the beginning of the 2000s felt kind of like brown, but it was cool because everyone was wearing like
well, because the 90s were about like golden oak cabinets, wallpaper, green carpet,
like backwards hat and smelling
polished
like beef stick,
polished brass hardware. Like that's me visualizing people's homes.
And then the 2000s like granite countertops.
Well, they not even fully granite just yet. I guess so. It started out
like
with the
darker
ugly
brown
ass granite.
All the rich people
Formica
houses had like
countertops.
glass jars of like pasta as like decorations.
They went from 4x4 white porcelain countertop tile to just ugly like Formica or one color stone or gosh, I'm trying to think. Panera bread, that's a good discovery zone.
Panera, yeah. It's this weird.
What was the other one? There was Panera bread and another one that was basically the same thing. It was like Coke Pepsi ripoff, but Panera and it was something basket or corner bakery or
there. I think
both of them sucked.
Yeah,
and that reminds me of what's that? There was that buffet type of place. It was like a Sizzler, but Soup Plantation. Place sucks.
Did you know there was? Do you know there's not a single protein on there?
That's what I was just gonna say. So,
I didn't even know because when I was little, I was like, "This shit bangs," especially after church.
So,
and then you look back and you're like, "Wait, all you get is a mountain of salad,
get this,
and a boat of mac and cheese."
When I moved out with
for a 4-year-old though,
yeah, when you're a toddler and all you do is eat mac and cheese and bread. When I moved out with Christopher, he had I slept on his couch in an apartment in Brea, and there was a soup plantation up the street. And he's like, "Oh, that's where we go when we're hungover." I'm like, "All right, I'm in buffet when you're hungover." And we get there, and I'm sure I had been there when I was smaller or a kid or whatever. But I'm like looking around. I'm like, "Hell yeah!" Get some garlic bread, some pasta, and I'm like loading my plate up, and I'm like, "Where the fuck where's the meat? Where's the protein?" There is
no meat,
zero protein. Your best bet's gonna be like bacon bits on the salad. And I sat down at the table. I'm like, "What are we doing here,
dude?
What is this? There's no meat. There's zero meat. They don't even have like a chicken nugget jar or nothing."
Thinking about workflows, imagine their biz model. Just buying leaf, selling sal, unlimited salad, all you can eat. But it's like you couldn't even eat what they bought that lettuce for. Like they're probably rolling. It's probably
out of business, didn't it?
They're back. There's one in Rancho Cucamonga now.
It's awful. The other thing too is I don't know how, but they have some crazy recipe for including 80% air in all of their carbs.
Yeah.
Like if you open like their bread, you're like, it's like 30% of the space is the bread.
Yeah.
And 70% of it is just air pockets. It's impressive. Like they have carbonated bread or something. I don't know, dude. It's just mostly empty.
Do you think the 2010s, like the teens, were kind of epic for whatever? They were cool, right? Till COVID. When it was like 2020, COVID stuff happened. But like the 2010s were cool. I think we're just not far enough from them to be like in the reminiscent feeling of it yet. But the 2000s and beyond, we have like you can like reminisce the vibe of each one, right? Does that make sense? Where you're like,
yeah, I think of it in terms of music.
Well, that's what I was going to get to.
Yeah.
I was like, I think there's ways to measure it, and music is a really good one because it totally dictates the time. Mm-hmm. It dictates what people are wearing, kind of all this stuff, right? But like the 2010s, we're almost a little too close. We're not. It's like it takes 10 years to be like, remember? But when you think back, okay, do you think that when you think back, you thought that time was cool because you're just thinking back and it doesn't matter however far back you're thinking back, you're always going to think it's cool because it feels cool simply because you're just looking backwards? Or do you think those times actually were cool and you felt in the moment that they were cool, and that the 2020s are just different because the world got so screwed for the first few years of 2020 that we're like forgetting that we're in the cool 20s? Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
Because I feel like when you were,
I'll
I feel
answer
like
the question.
I feel like I was really little here.
It's mostly the first one. I think any time period,
You're just looking
if
back.
you remove
like, "Oh, the
yourself
good
a
old days."
certain distance, yes, there's nostalgia no matter what. It's
Yeah.
also okay. So
Yeah, that's what
it's
it is.
two
It's like,
layers.
do you think it's just nostalgia, or do you think
Everything-
shit was actually cool?
it's a little bit of all of it. It's mostly the first thing you said, though. I think any amount of time you look back, I don't know what the amount of distance that makes it feel classic or nostalgic, but let's say it's 20 years. Any amount of time 20 years ago, oh, that's cool. Think about the revival of Creed and Limp Bizkit right now. That's case in point.
Yeah.
Now, you also have to probably have grown up either
Yeah.
in that era to think this, or it was from your parents' era and it was still a part of your vibe,
Yeah.
like Beach Boys and oldies.
Yeah.
That I have that because mom, grandpa, I would hear them, and that was their
Yeah.
that was their Creed and Limp Bizkit to me.
Yeah.
But then also there are just some time periods that are timelessly cool, like Elvis or
And you think in the moment they feel cool, or just
I think
in
so.
retro?
I think some things transcend all of that, and I think Elvis and maybe the Beatles, and I think Metallica. I think these big. There's a couple that are just like, that's timeless. There's other things.
Yeah, because when you're like hearing a song or seeing an event or experiencing a moment in history and realizing you're like, oh, this is a bookmark in history, and then you like kind of live in
for
it more.
you though.
Yeah, maybe. What I'm setting up here is like, if we thought that in the moment you realize it's cool and it's not just a nostalgia thing, it's like, how do we switch into that to be like, dude, it's 2026, shit's cool.
I think
And,
I
like,
am
being
kind
in-
of already
and
starting to be like that.
Because it's like we're
You
finally
realize the
climbing out
pattern?
of the dumb stuff that happened. And
Well, COVID's a big black swan event that
Dude,
kind of
for
halted everything.
everyone.
And I do think most people kind of have a new appreciation for stuff based on
I think
how
they have a
everything
new
shut
appreciation
down.
of like time.
Yeah.
Because
I still feel like it's been a time warp.
100.
It was 6 years ago.
It's a time. Yeah, it's a time warp for people that it didn't affect as like it did for us. To be clear, like that's when our dad passed away.
Yeah.
So for us, it's a fucking stamp in time. Like,
And it feels-
and it feels like 2020 to 2023 were just
Yep.
1 month.
I feel like that's still right now.
yeah,
like it's just
well, I
rapidly-
feel like we're just kind of getting. Well, no, it does feel rapid. I feel like 2025 was the first year where we're like climbing out of that warp kind of mind.
Yeah, I could see
But
that, 'cause-
because there's like such a jumbled up knot in everyone's timeline now. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's one of the first big like checkpoints for people where now they're being more intentional or just thoughtful with.
I guess it's
the rest of their
perception
time,
too,
you
though,
know?
because the world has a giant anchor tethering them to that moment in time.
That's what I'm saying. There's not a lot of
And it
anchors
just keeps
most
getting
of the time.
longer and longer. So I think we have
Yeah.
this. When you stop to go, it was back then. It seems like it rapidly went by because you're not thinking about
Yeah.
all the little things that happen along the way. Because that, as time goes by, your memory starts deleting files of
Yeah.
stuff that's kind of irrelevant.
Well, I forgot there's a word for it, but it's a theory of like the more you've lived, the faster time feels simply because you just have a different.
Oh yeah, well,
Because if you have 50 years under your belt, 30.
1 year to me is 1/40th of my
Exactly.
life, and one
Exactly.
to you is 1/23rd.
But dude,
Yeah.
point is, shit's cool. We got UFC fights on the White House lawn coming up. We got a bunch of cool stuff,
let's
and I'm like,
let's go back to that.
when are we
point,
gonna
though.
switch back into like? This is funny. Everything we just talked about work. Put it in a box because
Yeah.
that's us.
I'm done.
We're still those people, but we're like, put it in our folder because we're intelligent folks. We're dropping out of that folder, going back up to the master folder, and going back down to like personal life now.
And that
Cool
description,
shit.
my friends, does let you know how smart we are.
It does. And it's like, shit's cool. Let's blast music on our Alpine stereos and go to the drags at Glamis. Like, when are we doing cool stuff again,
That's true.
Gotta
When are
live
we doing
life.
Cool stuff again. I like that topic though of like how do you decipher what was the premise of your question? How could I state that? Because it's like, was that moment actually
It's
cool,
basically
or was it cool
it's basically
because it was
like
old?
everyone always says like the good old days, and it's like there's a saying where it's like, I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before they became the good old days.
Well,
and what I'm saying is like, how
Yeah.
do you stop and realize like, oh, I'm in the good old days? Because
Well,
that's what I do.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
another
yeah.
thing that helps me have acceptance and grace.
I
And
don't
stuff.
know what the
business
answer
is
to
like,
that is, but I think age is a part of it. I think I'm starting to get this because I've thought about specifically this before in my mind. I've never said it out loud, and then I found that it was strange that this whole Limp Bizkit, Creed, and that whole early 2000s music stuff is coming back, and I'm like, okay, is this because it was cool? I liked all that stuff back then, and I was like, I'm the metal guy. I'm not supposed to like Creed or Seether and all there was a few bands where you're like, these are just good songs, so you have to like it.
Yeah.
And I did unapologetically like it back then too, even though I was like Lamb of God, Pantera, Slayer,
Yep.
Metallica, right? And
little Panera
but
brain.
still, there was an element of it back then where I'm like, but this is just the fad. There's some music that you just know will transcend. Like I said, Elvis, Beatles, and to me, Metallica. And quite frankly, their income and their record sales prove that
Yeah.
I'm right. They're timeless. But then NSYNC, shit like that, Britney
Yeah.
Spears, that was supposed to be just in the moment, and then gone.
Yeah.
But all of that, for some reason, is like relevant again right now. And I have a
know.
theory. It's either because of COVID and the time warp, and then the way that musicians get paid just stifled a bunch of people from being able to make money to keep creating, and also technology. Because
Yeah.
like EDM came out, there's a lot of programmed stuff, and I don't think like a perfect. There's all these songs that are great for radio. They have that formula, like
Yeah.
everybody knows the formula because it's like a 3 minute and 20. It's 3 minute 20-second intro, verse, chorus, bridge, out.
Yeah.
And you hear it and you don't realize it's the same song that every other song is, and they're
Yep.
not. The bands aren't writing it. It's
Yeah.
like there's a guy, Benny, and there's like 3 people that write all the music ever.
songs. Yeah.
But the other bands that are standing the test of time, like Creed,
We're the ones that
Metallica,
just wrote all of it.
they're writing their music. There's like human error in
Yeah.
there. It doesn't follow the formula for radio hit. So I can't tell if it's because of COVID and that stifling of people getting paid to create stuff, or if that era was truly the last time people were really writing music for themselves.
I know.
I don't understand why it's coming back, because I don't know of any other time where something 20 years old came back roaring for the younger generation. Like, these bands are touring again and selling out.
I know. I think
That's
there's
wild.
also like, here's one of the moments where my wordsmithing is not as seasoned as it should be. Things like music, fashion, politics, maybe, like these large sectors of like human experience, if that makes sense. These like categories like come together as like a conglomerate. And here's what I mean by this analogy. It's almost like when someone says they're a conservative or a liberal, you associate other things with them that are
Sure.
completely non-political, but it's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, usually that kind of person tends to do this kind of thing.
Yep.
And it's like, it's almost like bringing that stuff back. It's like, I think people just realize that, like, man, it was just like, what a time to be alive back then. Even though there was like BS going on, we weren't as aware of these things. And like COVID was the first big, like, oh, governments aren't here for us and all this
Yeah.
stuff. So it's like everybody was like fiending for like a time in life where it didn't feel like that, if that makes sense. And that's why like
Yeah.
kids our age are growing up and they're like, man, we kind of missed out on that kind of vibe or thing. So we're like pulling all this stuff back, like Creed's back, and I don't know if that makes sense at all.
It does. And maybe
And
that
it's like
is the
with
case.
like multiple it's like with like multiple things. Like I think there's always trends in fitness, but like I feel like there's more people than ever online about the health and fitness and being outside.
Yeah.
And there's more people than ever pulling old music back. There's more people than ever like pulling old fashion back and cars and interests and like we went through this huge wave of people not wanting to be husbands and wives and starting families, and now like that's like like people are like, no, give me that. And then there's all these people online building their faith, like, give me that back. And it's like we're like taking back the
I guess
stuff
we have no reference though, because
You know?
what I would like to do is, you know, if you could talk to somebody 100 years ago, let's say 100 years ago, I get to talk to a 40-year-old and say, you know, what were your bands, or what was the entertainment? What was the political landscape? Like, ask all these relevant questions then and say, what cycles did you see? And is this normal? Because, you know, bands, music, fashion, all these things, all of that stuff existed in these buckets. It's like entertainment and family values, religion, politics. That all was like every time zone, every time period had these.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's ever been the same like evolution in steps, because maybe this has happened before. Maybe they had their version of Creed coming back or whatever.
Yeah.
And then just to like get like wrap your head around like time, like, so it's 2026. Creed came out, I think 2001. Let's just say from 2000 to 2010 was their like era, right? So we're like, let's just say that's 20 years old. Now let's go to 2000 and go, what's 20 years from then?
Like Motley.
1980.
Yeah, it's like Motley Crue. Not even.
It wouldn't even, they weren't in their heyday yet. They just started. It would be more like Dio and Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So from now till when Creed started, that would be similar to mom and dad in 2000 saying, I remember when Dio was like hot shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm pointing that out. Just like kind of giving a reference of the time that's...
Well, it's just justifying, like, is it a unique thing happening now, or is this just a cycle?
Well, to that point,
everyone's always
Dio
like...
didn't come back with a vengeance.
That's what I'm saying.
And then you could take Black Sabbath. They were just always relevant. And
They've just always been, yeah.
So that's not... That would be the Metallica example.
Yeah, you got to find... we got to eliminate the bottom and the highlights that are like legends, like the conversation of the Beatles and Sabbath. They're just at legend status. It's irrelevant.
So you have to remove.
You got to look for people like Creed and Limp Bizkit that are so niche.
Yeah.
That it justifies it, and it's like
because they died off and they came back.
Yeah. But it's like not just them. It's not just the music. It's just this
2000s.
movement of like I don't know, the way people are living and carrying themselves, and like
I wonder if just pop culture is just out of ideas too, because if you think about movies too, I think technology and COVID combined ruined movies for me. I was such a movie guy, and I was on top of all movies.
Now the way stories are written, and I just listened to Matt Damon talk on Rogan about like the way movies are written and are different now, knowing that they're not in theater. The chance of someone watching a movie in a theater and not being interested in 5 minutes and walking out because they're not interested is like 0%. They bought their ticket, they watched the whole thing.
Yep.
But with streaming platforms taking over,
shut it off.
they write the movies completely different, knowing
different formula.
That if you're uninterested, you might leave it on, but you're just on your phone, you're with your kids, and you're not locked into the movie. And it's like, there's always factors that are changing how we
they're
consume
now
our
doing
entertainment.
banger action out of the gate.
Exactly.
To keep you in. Yeah.
Same with music. If you don't like a song, it's like skip. Where it's like you have to go go buy CDs. So that almost kind of proves the point too, where it's like, man, if that stuff's coming back in an era where you can get anything and your demand is unlimited, kind of proves the point that like people want something back, whether it's the era or just the feeling or like, you know.
Also, I think human nature is you kind of want a little bit of boundary and I don't want to say you want to be controlled, but you do want to be like confined a little bit and have boundaries. And a good example would be this music topic. When the iPod came out, it like
having
blew my
too
mind.
much freedom on like what song to pick almost is hard.
Well, it was only cool for a little bit. So let me explain my evolution with this.
It's like the radio.
It's the radio. You didn't appreciate it until it was gone. CDs, you didn't appreciate it until it's gone. And here's what I mean by that. The radio, to me, in hindsight, I miss it a lot. And I miss it a lot because you get this community vibe. There's something about hearing mandatory Metallica come on KLOS, knowing that there's like 200,000 people enjoying the same song at the same time.
Yep. You feel connected.
When you're flipping through your CD book, which I still have, it was cool to pick a CD and you knew you were going to listen to all 12
Yeah.
or 13 songs.
Yep.
And I used to, like, still, any song that I listen to on tape or CD, when I'm listening to it, I know what the next song is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I miss
Yeah.
having that skill, or I don't even know what you want to call that. But now you hear one good song and you could buy one song. And it's like, usually bands, I don't know about anymore, but they would write an album and they would methodically pick the order of the songs.
Yeah, I was gonna say they knew
And it
that,
all goes together with the artwork and the lyrics. And now you're just,
Yeah.
you know,
People are just trying to get their
cherry
one
picking,
It's a lot
yeah.
more singles.
you're losing a lot of like the,
They were writing albums like a story arc,
Mm-hmm.
and like songs were like a story. And I think metal bands do that sometimes, where like they write a whole intro to a song
yep,
for the next one.
Yeah.
Can't you know the
Lamb of God, the Wrath.
yeah, that one, and then
The
you know
Passing of the
Candlebox
Yeah.
when they write was it called Breathe Me? That song I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
Breathe Me In. Well, they write an intro to that that's like 5 minutes. And for the longest time I only knew about I think it's called Breathe Me. Then randomly, like 2 years after me loving that song, the intro played and flowed into it, and I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
and then I had to listen to the whole album. Something I do sometimes when I'm working out or just working by myself and I have like focus time is I will pick an album of an artist I really like that I've never listened to the whole album, and I'll trap myself in the album because it feels good to like you kind of appreciate the songs that you used to not really like that much when you listen to the others in the album and you realize
Yeah,
like
it's
if they wrote it as that way, you know.
Perspective and just flavor. I know it. And I
Yeah.
miss that. And when the iPod came out, I was so excited because I'm like, wow, you can have all this music in your pocket. You don't have to worry about it skipping anymore.
Yeah.
But slowly but surely I realized when it's just you listening and you can pick whatever you want,
It's like different.
your idea, I don't know, you just...
Yeah.
That's
That's why
now to this day, like when I drive around, I'm like, I don't know what to listen to. So it's like whatever pops up first, I'll
Yeah.
listen to it. But when
Dude.
you're flipping through your CD book or listening to the radio, like if it's a genre you like and someone else is picking it for you, you're like, oh, this is a good one.
Yeah,
It's more
always,
exciting.
It's always better when someone else It's better
Yeah.
when someone else cooks the food for you.
Yep.
When
Or
you're, like,
sharing it
confined
with
to
people.
Sharing.
I miss that.
dude. So I went through a thing here where when friends would come over in like college or like come sit in my garage in my house, and we'd like have a drink. We'd have like a few drinks or something. We would like sit in the garage and just like listen to like a playlist or an album simply just to listen to it, to be like, it just feels like you're experiencing it with someone.
It's like rewatching a movie. There's
Yeah.
movies that
Yeah.
I've seen a whole bunch
Yeah.
that I just don't watch anymore on my own. But if someone wanted to, like if you wanted to
Yeah.
go rewatch Step Brothers right now, I'd be
I would
like,
love
oh,
to
this will be
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And you look at the person, huh, funny, right?
yeah, like I love yeah. There's definitely a thing of like, I'd love to share this with you.
Yeah.
It's like watching a show with someone. I'm like, I'm not even gonna watch it by myself, but I'll share it with you because for some reason it
Yeah.
feels good. It's interesting. We're weird. We're weird. We're weird. Like
I think all the tech that's happening now is kind of partly responsible for pushing people backwards a little bit in pop culture because stuff just doesn't feel authentic or connected anymore.
well, you also notice, and I can speak to this in our paid advertising because we manage so many paid ads now. It doesn't matter what business, brand, service, anything. Every single one of our clients, their number one best performing ad is always what's called UGC content, which is authentic ads. You can
Uncle
tell
Dad can do it.
you can tell someone just recorded it on their phone.
Yeah,
and it's
it's real.
incredibly authentic.
Yeah.
Like the top people on social media are people that just are super authentic,
Yeah.
say it how it is on their phone. Like people are craving the like rawness of life and like the authenticity.
It's
And
more relatable.
yeah, it's
I think that's
you
that.
can like
Yeah, that's
appreciate watching it a lot more. There's also, this is me being nerdy, but like on YouTube, you know how thumbnails have always been like extremely
yeah,
clickbaity?
I don't like that.
That's kind of for like smaller influencers. There's this huge wave of like more and more people making videos, and the thumbnail is just like a photo of them smiling. They're just
going-
like a scene of the video, like, and they're not all Mr. Beastified. Mr. Beast showed that like you can squeeze every drop out of someone's attention, but like eventually they're just gonna be so numb and just like like he figured out the format to stimulate and hijack someone's mind for however long the videos are. And like the second he figured that out, every single business, network, everything.
Yeah, so it's going to go back now. It's going to go back to a little old man on his porch in his rocking chair.
Exactly. That's why everyone's just like, dude, I'm fucking fried. They just want back the like normal low lit dinner.
Yeah.
Little bit of bush.
Turn the TV off, man. Let's just talk.
Yep. Yeah.
It's true.
Yep.
Anyway. So I don't know why Creed's back, but I like it.
Dude, we went and saw them in the summertime and shit rocked.
I've seen him a few times
Sick.
Back in the day.
He was jacked. It was fun. There was like all ages there. There was a ton of people my age and a ton of people your age and a ton of people older too.
What's funny is
it was just a hodgepodge of all types of people there, and everybody was like collectively like, let's go. This is epic. Dude, and then
it did start as a meme though. I remember during COVID,
as a meme.
It was like,
well, so everyone was everyone was like making memes or like, babe, don't come out here. I'm throwing wrenches. You might get pregnant. Yeah, dude. I love it. And inner me feels Creed. Like at the end of the day,
good.
You know, I don't know. Like at the end of the day, when the sun's setting and I'm like, who am I? Inner me feels Nutshell, feels Creed. Like that's who I feel I am.
Don't conflate those two. Alice in Chains is by far
and I love
better.
them.
I love them both too.
But I
Creed was my little. So mom thought everything was satanic. She would steal my Metallica CDs. She would literally steal, break, rip, throw away. Like, well, I had a lot of stuff. It'd be like Slayer and
everyone said
Demi Borgir. There a lot of stuff was like
they were saying like Motley Crue, and which was like an evolution of like whatever Dio and all stuff was like Satan.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if someone got a hold of like Lamb of God in the 60s? It would be like the world's melt. I don't even know, dude.
Yeah, I mean, that's all the stuff I was into. So I'm like, I kept trying to have stuff that I didn't have to hide. And Creed, I'm like, this is perfect. They're known as like the Christian band or like kind of like a Christian rock band. So those were the Loud and Proud CDs that I would keep in my room or whatever. She even threw those away at first. Dude. And I'm like, what are you doing? These guys are singing about Jesus. Like,
I know. I think my first intro to all this was that you gave me a CD with, it was a Def Leppard CD.
Yeah.
And I used to that was like the only CD I had. So I would just listen to it on repeat. And I was like, God, this is sick, dude. I would listen to the album just top to bottom over and over on my little CD player with headphones.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so freaking cool. And then mom and dad never listened to, they didn't listen to like Motley Crue and Def Leppard. They were like, well, dad's always been like ZZ Top, CCR, and then like Bon Jovi. So it was like pool parties listening to like Wanted Dead or Alive. And I was like, this is freaking cool. And the Eagles, and that built my...
and Shania Twain.
Yeah. And it was like...
what are you doing?
So I was like building an appreciation for like different sides of... Because rock is like...
And I was hitting you with
huge...
Slayer, Pantera, Cradle of Filth.
And then I started hearing like metal, and it's like, I'm just a little acoustic guy. Like, that's hard. And then I started, I don't know, like dabbling. I feel like when you start dabbling with metal, it's like you listen to like, you hear of like, or at least when I was growing up, you hear of like, I wouldn't even say Metallica. It's like when you think you're like pushing the edge, it's like, ooh, Five Finger Death Punch, or like, ooh, Avenged Sevenfold. And then you're like, I don't know, it's a little hard. And then you start getting into it and you're like, they're pretty cool. And then once you start veering out, that's when all the like,
it's like an acquired taste.
It's a very acquired taste where like the stuff I listen to today that I like love, and like, you know, the certain songs just kind of itch your brain right. And you're like, ooh, I appreciate that so much.
Gets you in the feels.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, it gets you right.
Kill Switch got you.
Yeah, Kill Switch got me hard, dude. I'm always a Kill Switch fan. Always. When Kill Switch comes on the way to work at 7 or 8 a.m., non-negotiable. Radio's at level 20. Non-negotiable. I am never not in a Kill Switch mood. Never not. I am always ready. Always ready for Kill Switch, dude. I love it. And then like Lamb of God took me a while to appreciate too. In the beginning, I was like, I don't know. And now I'm like, well, it's been a while since I've been sold, but I'm like, I'm fucking sold. I love that stuff.
They're great.
When you first put me on Parkway Drive, I was like, dude, they have a couple bangers, but the rest I was like, I don't know. Then when I was in college, I was doing the thing. When I was working out, I'd listen to a whole album and I'd force myself. And I forced myself to listen to the what's the album that has Kronos?
I think it is called Kronos, I think.
Yeah, and on that they have like God, there isn't a single song on that album that is not
Those are
a
all
10
bangers.
out of
That's
10.
like their Black Album.
That album is insane. Yeah, that. And then I listened to their other albums that I was like, I don't know if I like these. And then I'm like, holy shit, dude. 90% of their songs I love, which is crazy when you find an artist like that.
Do you
really
listen to
cool.
Trivium?
Yeah, I have Trivium. Dude, I've been so I started a metal playlist, and it has all the. When I say metal, like I don't put like Limp Bizkit on it. It's like my version of metal, and I started it in senior year of high school, and I've added songs to it. Only when I find the song and I genuinely like it, because the worst feeling is when you build a playlist and you
There's a couple of lame ones.
kind of
in there.
bloat it, and then you go to listen to it later, and you're like,
Yeah.
you just have this feeling of like,
That
that's
doesn't
not really
feel-
my, it doesn't feel good, and then you're like, God, I have to rebuild it. So I genuinely, for 6 years now, have only put songs on this playlist that in that moment of time I was like, I freaking love this.
Yeah, you have to have it.
Yeah, and this playlist is now at, I'll tell you right now, it's now at 21 hours and 24 minutes long. It has 288 songs of only the songs that I genuinely are like, I fucking love this. And the order of the playlist is in the order that I've added it.
Oh, that's cool.
So
what was the first one?
This is what's cool. You can see how my like taste evolved. The first song is Nothing Else Matters, added November 20th, 2019.
It's the gateway drug. Yep.
And then if we go all the way down to the bottom.
2019?
Yeah, November 2019. All the way down to the bottom. Most recently, song added 3 days ago.
Lamb of God.
Trivium.
Oh, Trivium. Okay.
The one right before that is the Lamb of God. We're just into oblivion.
Yeah.
And like if you scroll through it, you can see how it goes.
What's the very last one? Trivium what?
This is a new one of theirs. Bury Me With My Screams.
Yeah, okay.
And then like there's also a lot of like I got a lot of Josta in there. I kind of went through my skinhead phase of like Hatebreed, like all that stuff. And
Hatebreed's good, but you pick three of their songs and you've heard them all.
Yes.
But they belong there.
They're very.
You just can only do three because it's the same.
yeah. I got like
I've seen them a whole bunch. I broke my hand in a Hatebreed pit.
Dude, it's all like
My hand, a couple of knocks.
you can see the like how my brain and taste has gone over. And I'll send this to people sometimes. I got 10 saves on Spotify, 10 people that appreciate it and listen to it.
The whole playlist?
Yeah.
I got to get on that train.
Yeah.
I just search what I want to hear and make a radio station out of it. But I've never utilized all the features it has. And we're on Spotify, so I probably should.
Yeah,
they're going to start paying us pretty quick, aren't they?
Yeah, I heard tomorrow. But yeah, dude, I have such an appreciation for that. You know what else kind of signals that you're like in it or you actually like it? Is when when you're kind of listening to a new, I think it's only when you're younger, maybe. When you start listening to a new genre that people don't really like know you for yet. Because when you kind of know people for like the genres they like, you almost feel a little like dirty to play it in front of, you're like your I don't know, it's like someone comes over and you're like, turn the Lamb of God off. I don't want to hear that. You're like, or you're like, you get caught.
I've always been like that.
You get caught
because
listening
I know
to rap.
my taste is not. Oh, not with rap, but
well, that's what I'm saying. Like something way weird. You're like,
I have a public playlist, and then when I'm in a car alone playlist for sure.
Yes.
And mine is just because I don't want to look at everybody scoffing.
yes, because if someone listened to the stuff we're just talking about, they're like, but anyway. But I do that for other stuff too. I'm like new rap that comes out, friends listen to. I'm like, dude. But
yeah, what are you doing?
You know when you feel
what are you doing, Tyler?
Yeah, you know when you feel a little dirty, so you're like, you don't play that, or you like, you're having a house party and you're like on your phone skipping through because you're like, oh, I don't want them to hear that one.
That's why Creed rips, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, and everybody.
But you can't play Raining Blood at every party.
No. But I feel like you start to, you're like, oh, I'm in when like you play it and you start pushing the boundaries a little bit, or if like someone walks in your office and it's playing and you leave it and you're like,
yeah,
because you're like, no, that's me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Noreen came over a couple days ago, which was super awesome. She was coming to
And you were
hang out with June for a second.
You had DMX on 11.
No, but I had the garage speakers. We have a little sub out there, like ripping Hatebreed and like all this gnarly stuff. And I was taking the Christmas lights down on like January 20th.
That's it.
And she was like, God, Tristan, like, are you okay? And I was like, you don't get it. You don't get it. I like it. Yeah.
I think you have to ease into some of that too. Like if you're just walking in from a nice stroll listening to Beach Boys and you walk into a Hatebreed garage.
Yeah, people are going to think you're actually
a
a Nazi or something.
Yeah, you gotta ease into it a little bit. You gotta start them off with the Nothing Else Matters and work your way up. A little Parkway Drive.
Yeah.
A little bit of I'm Broken, and then like,
dude, and it works because I've been listening to the more harder stuff for right around like halfway through college is when it finally went from like, all right, we'll go from Metallica to like some of the Parkway Drive songs that don't have like violin, like, you know, like stuff's getting hard. And like Morgan would always turn it down in the truck and be like, I don't even know how you listen to this. Like, this is horrible.
now she's bought in.
And over the course of the past like 4-5 years of our relationship, it's gone from like, this is turn this off, like it's trash, to like, she is full bought in. So it's proof that you can build them up. But yeah, you can't go straight to the top.
For sure. It's like, you know, when you first start drinking, someone gives you your first whiskey, you're like, how in the fuck do you guys drink straight gasoline? And now you're like, yeah, but have you had this one?
Yeah. and that's how people start liking being choked and stuff.
God, that's terrible.
Dude. But yeah, you build tolerances for all this stuff. So
I wouldn't call it
appreciation.
Love metal. When I was in,
you build appreciation.
When I was in 9th grade health class, one of the lessons, what was the guy trying to say? He was trying to show people, or the class, that like certain things can calm people down. That does. I don't know exactly what it was. He basically used me as an example to basically show how the different variables in like the human condition and how certain environments can do different things to different people. And he pulled me up in front of the class, or he had a girl come up to the front of the class, and he played like Slayer or something, and her heart rate went up, and he had everybody on like a heart rate monitor. And then he brought me up and then played another, I think it was a Metallica song, and my heart rate went down. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but like, I think it's because all that like brutal metal legitimately grounds me and calms me down. I love it.
Yeah.
So people assume like, oh, you're an angry, violent guy, but that's wrong.
No, it's just the thing
the
that
people
like
that love it. It's like that's their thing. That's their Beach Boys or whatever.
It's the thing that like itches your.
It itches the scratch,
dude. It hits the spot.
It does.
This might kind of sound silly. There's a lot of similarities in our brains acting like a rotary motor, like cars that are at 12,000 RPMs. You know, RPM, and like that. I always feel like I'm overthinking and going super fast. And then when I listen to like Slipknot, where you're like, how do you even drum that fast? That's insane. It's almost like you're like, oh, a frequency that's matching me.
Yeah.
And it's like your version of taking Vyvanse or freaking, what's it called? Like those speed pills and stuff. It's like kids with ADHD. They give them
right. They give them meth and they chill out.
Yeah, they give them stuff to like bring their ticker up to where their brain's at, if that makes sense. And it's like, because when I listen to that stuff, it's funny because I'm like writing like kind emails and working or whatever. Obviously, there's moods where you're listening to it because you're trying to push heavy weights or you're like, I hate you, Dad. But I'm listening to it when I'm doing my work, and it like puts me in flow state.
Yeah.
And when other people walk in their office, they're like, what the hell are you listening to?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. Because something about it, it's like my metronome's back in sync in a sense. Like you feel grounded in the moment. I don't know.
It calms me down. I love it. Granted, there are times where, like, I have some of the polar opposite. Like, on Spotify, I have a couple of channels. Like, one's called Brain Flossing, one's called Focus Time, one's just something meditation.
Yeah.
And if I have to, like, really lock in and think a lot, because there's work where it's just thoughtless, but there's a lot of movements to do, and you're like, copy, paste, that type of mentality.
Yeah.
I can listen to anything.
Yeah.
When I have to really figure things out and like research.
Yeah, there's definitely different.
I'll go into the like meditation style or focus flow. There's no words.
Yeah.
Like I don't want words.
I've found
when
that
I have
with,
to think a lot.
I've found that with I wouldn't call myself like an EDM.
You keep hitting the plant.
I wouldn't call myself an EDM fan because like some of the people who work for me are legit fans, go to all the raves and all that. Like I wouldn't do that. But I think there's
I don't like that stuff.
You can find the similarities in the level of like intensity of metal in some, I'm not saying all, some
EDM
of those songs.
I'll tell you what's great about it.
There's a few like things that will match, and some of those songs I like. But like I said, you wouldn't really catch me like, I don't know.
No, I totally get why people like that. But what's really, really good about EDM is the sound engineers just nail it. They pull out.
That's why it's so good.
It just a perfect sound engineering. Like if you listen to, like I remember when Skrillex first came out.
Yeah.
And he did a couple of things. Like what was his first big one?
I don't even know.
Scary Monsters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's when like Dead Mouse. And
he
all those
was able to make any stereo sound amazing. You could take a crappy car stereo, and he just knew how to engineer sound and mix the audio so perfectly that any set of headphones or stereo would sound killer.
Yeah.
It became like the ultimate, like he set the bar for sound engineering. All of EDM is that. They followed
it just sounds
that
killer
guideline.
on anything.
Yeah. And then now newer metal, the reason why
newer
you like
metal
like Parkway Drive,
so good on.
they are excellent. So some of their songs are kind of basic, but the recording quality is excellent.
It is because
and it gets you going.
You can clearly like when I'd listen to it on my beats.
Very, very
truck,
legible.
It's like so just clear. I don't know, because you ever listen to some songs where you're like, I just can't get out of my ears. It just sounds like I'm hearing.
They're not mixing
music
it well.
and lyrics like this separately, and then there's other songs where it just feels like
they created a
symphony.
Space. Yeah, they created a space. It's all separate, but it's all together. Yeah, recording. I mean, I've done quite a bit of it. It's very difficult to make, especially metal, make everything sound legible and separate.
Yeah.
So like, it's so clean and crisp that you can isolate. Oh, I do hear the bass, but it goes perfectly with the guitars. I can tell there's two separate channels, but they're working together, and the lyrics aren't on top of it. It's in it. Like they create like a 3D space of sound.
Yeah.
Super difficult. And metal is the hardest to do that. And also to like get it violent. Without making the speakers blow or clip or like the dubstep guys and EDM guys figured that out.
I think that's why it can sometimes be easy to be let down at a live concert for certain metal and rock bands too. You know who else kind of figured that out is like country music on car speakers.
Yeah.
They have this interesting like, I don't know.
Well, now that you have a good stereo, you can, there's certain songs that you're like, I'm going to listen to that because it sounds good on my good
100%.
stereo, right?
I do that all the time.
So
I just know.
Back to the point of a good sound engineer.
Yeah.
Though. Like the Skrillex sounded good in the Civic stock stereo and in your truck stereo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Certain bands and genres like country did that too.
Yeah.
They sound good on everything, but there's not a lot of artists that sound good on everything.
Yeah.
And recording, when I used to record my band stuff, the test would be you're listening to it on the monitors that are intentionally flat so you could pick everything up. But then you have to go into each buddy's car and play it, and then in your headphones and start making notes about, oh, this blows out here. You can't hear this here.
Yep.
And you have to mix so that it sounds great on everything. Anyway, I think we've run our course on saying stupid shit.
Nah, stuff's cool. I was about to say some dumb stuff, and I was like, don't do that.
What do we start with? Burnt out? I am burnt out.
I'm fired up.
No, on trying to sound logical and cool.
I know. It's like, why can't I just say like things I want?
I guess I don't have a lot of good ideas.
I don't know. We're just reflections of our environment.
Just a couple of guys at the top of the dune trying to let our hands heal. Don't hold on too tight.
Just a couple waves on the beach.
Hold on loosely.
Don't get rope burn.
Josie's on a vacation.
Yeah.
Like a rainbow in the dark.
Dude, don't get me started. If we get on voice message level.
Oh, no. We're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
I'm glad those things disappear.
I know. Oh my God. I had this dream that like every text I ever sent went public. It was crazy.
That's terrible. I have always self-censored stuff like this. When were you ever on MySpace?
No.
Yeah.
Remember
Okay.
Farmville?
Yeah. Yeah. I was playing that when I was all laid up from surgery, right?
Yeah, it was Farmville and Need for Speed. We were going hard.
Need for Speed's legit.
When
So MySpace was the thing. I wasn't huge into it. I've always been a guy that was like,
Did you know
I'll get on
Instagram-
board after I know it's a thing.
I know you're like the music thing of MySpace, right? You can, like,
That's
go on-
not what I'm getting to.
Oh.
I was going to explain to you why I started self-censoring and not saying dumb shit online for the most part. Is MySpace. I got on board late on that one, and it was like Facebook was already a thing. And then I remembered people posting the dumbest shit. They're like, at Chick-fil-A for lunch. Just saying dumb stuff like
that's
anybody
how
cared.
Instagram was when it first got
And then
started.
I was like, oh, I guess this is what we do. So I did it a couple of times, and I thought, like, why? That's ridiculous. You're basically telling them to rob your house right now because you're not home.
I know. I think about that sometimes.
And then I remember a little bit of time passed, and then it started doing that thing where it told you what you said a month ago or a year ago.
Yeah.
And I look back, I'm like, oh, that's ridiculous. You don't want to save that. Like, I just picked up early on that what you're saying now, you're going to think is so stupid in a year.
I know.
So I'm like, the only logical thing is don't say anything.
Have you ever ranked your email inbox backwards and look at like some of the first emails you sent?
No.
Dude, I did that. I'm like, I don't even know how people wanted to work with me because I just sounded like a 7-year-old.
Oh, yeah, that
You
sounds
should check
grody.
that out.
That sounds grody.
I was looking at the emails I was sending 5 years ago.
You know, when I started,
Crazy.
everything was in person. I'm not that old. Email was a thing, but
A lot more was done.
when I made bids, I would print it, and I refused to email. I would say, let's set up time. I'll come to you. And I would come and I would present it and I would be in front of them and I would try to sell them on the spot.
Interesting.
I don't miss that because I'll tell you what, rejection to your face.
Yeah.
It's a rough one.
Yeah, dude.
Reading an email at 11 p.m. going like, we went another direction is a little easier than them going, well, I don't know. We need to think about it. You're like, what do you have to think about? It's right here.
I know. Gosh, yeah, it's crazy.
But, I'd be driving like from Murrieta to downtown LA to like pitch something and
to get told no.
Yeah, and drive home all, well, I only had $18 to get here.
Dude.
Yeah.
Life's all perspective.
Yep.
We need to set up a whiskey pod.
It's just a number game.
Dude, it is.
The numbers game.
Why aren't you 10xing?
A whiskey pot. I almost text you when you're on your way over here and said, is today the day?
I know. I was going to set a timer for 30 minutes.
I think we should make a rule. Number one, let's say this. Nobody's going to be listening at this point. It's already so long, so we'll say it to ourselves. We made a plan to start at a certain time, to end at a certain time, and post at a certain time. We're already
about to hit 6:45. We're literally
we're 14 minutes past that a little.
Oh, are we?
6:45?
Let's see.
I thought I gave us an hour.
Plan was.
You might be right. While you're looking that up, but the
yeah.
other thing, you might be right. We might be dead on, or 14 minutes past. Either way, it's pretty good considering. The second thing is, I think we're doing these Thursdays, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a drinking fun one, I think that needs to be a separate thing. I think we shouldn't have work tomorrow. I think we should be ready to maybe take the families out to dinner or something after and include them in some way.
You're saying if this was a...
Yeah, I don't think we should, because the Thursday ones, we should really try to bring our A game.
Yeah.
We should be, I don't know, or scrap that, whatever. Sometimes you just have to drink. I don't think anyone wants to watch us drink yet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
I don't even know if they want to watch us talk about what we talk about yet.
I know.
No one
People
even
are-
comments.
I feel like
you know how I
some
know
people-
they're not
I
watching?
feel like some people listen to this and they're like, get to the point, guy.
Probably. I don't know. We really need some legitimate feedback though, because
Yeah. Well, we need to ask.
Some people have
we need to
told
ask
me-
for feedback in the first 60 seconds of the episode, not at the end.
I know. Well, I don't know. I think human nature is people will lie to you to your face because the analogy would be like girls all lie to girls. And I've tried to tell Melissa this before, but they're like, oh my God, your hair looks great. And it's like, does it?
Yeah.
And if it didn't, what would you say?
Yeah.
And I think that would be the same thing for this. So people in person who are like, I listened to it. You guys are actually really good.
You're like-
what do you mean actually?
You're like, did you listen to it or did you just see that we started it? and
So,
you're just saying it?
but I'm wondering, are we or are we not? Is it entertaining or is it not? Is it helpful or is it not? Are we idiots? Are we saying is 90% of our words fluff and nobody cares and it means nothing?
I don't know if it's helpful. I would say that might
Is
be
it
a little bit
entertaining?
entertaining. I think it'd be a little entertaining. I listened to one of our first
I would
ones.
lean more towards helpful than entertaining, I think, but I could be
think
totally
so?
wrong.
I listened to one of them
I don't feel entertained.
a week ago. I listened to like episode 6, and I was like,
Not bad.
yeah,
I
I don't
don't
know.
listen
It's
to
also our own voice, so kind of weird, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, man, just don't hold on too tight. Get on top of the dune. I don't know. It's fun though. It's a cool process. I'm excited to like businessify this and really blow this out. I mean, it's only January, and think about guess it's time to wrap it up.
We have to wrap up on that when we start over.
Yeah.
Guy, my socks are short and my pants are up high.
Dude, I'm wearing a crop top t-shirt courtesy of the wife. Shirt got all dried and short.
Oh, before we go, one last thing. Have you seen my Jackhawk 9000?
No. Oh my god. That's shiny.
Oh, I like knives.
That's nice, dude. I need a tomahawk with that.
You bring it to a restaurant.
Bring it to gourmet.
You're like, yeah. It's all polished up.
We had someone at our house on Christmas Eve that like we had a lot of people over and we ran out of
It's Japanese steel.
steak knives and they used their like dirty pocket knife. And I was like, hell yeah, brother.
Was it Lauren?
No.
Oh.
Nah. It looked good on him.
All right, good
steak.
pod.
I think it was a good pod.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Sick.
Expectation versus outcome versus acceptance. And here's a to wrap this up. I expected this to have a lot more value. It didn't, was the outcome, and I'm accepting it. We did the best we could.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. Thanks for listening. If you
Ooh,
made it
can
this
we-
far,
Can we start putting applause in at the end?
yeah, we could.
We should do that.
Or the little kids that go, yay! We got to Mr. Beastify our,
No, let's just be us. We just got to be us.
yeah. I'm
Keep
being
it
me.
real, man. A little bit of applause would be funny.
Little Shaka.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Hey, thanks. Go
Go support your local lasagna.
Oh, sounds so good. I like lasagna.
BMP Army. Thanks.
See you next Thursday if this gets posted on time.
Oh.